Hey everyone, Andrigat here and welcome back to my channel. Phase 2 of the Legion Remix just dropped and there is a bunch of new stuff to check out. New content, juicy rewards and some major buffs that you'll definitely want to know about. Oh, and stick around till the end, as we'll cover the Mythic Plus changes and the huge buffs for non-tank specs. Okay, so let's break it all down so you know exactly what to do in Phase 2 and how to make the most out of it. Okay, let's get into it! Right off the bat, the Nighthold raid is finally open. That means another raid that we can farm daily for more gear and even more infinite power. I still believe raiding is one of the best ways to farm fragmented mementos, especially on Mythic and Heroic mode. After running all 3 difficulties of Nighthold, I got around 500 mementos total, so it's absolutely worth doing the full clear. And don't forget that Phase 1 raids are still very good to farm. I did hear people saying that normal maybe is not really that efficient anymore, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. The most important thing here is to actually run them in reverse order. What I mean is you need to start with Mythic, then do Heroic, and finally end with normal. I mean, if you are actually doing normal. There are many reasons as to why you wanna go with reverse order. For one, better rewards overall. It's more time efficient to start with Mythic. And on top of that, it seems that the first raid you clear each day actually gives extra bonus rewards. So yeah, I mean, you definitely want that to be Mythic. Clearing the full Nighthold raid also awards you with an achievement which increases your infinite knowledge by 1 point. And yes, in Phase 2 we can actually raise our infinite knowledge cap even further. In Phase 1 it was capped at 28, and now we can get actually 4 additional points, bringing the total up to 32. And like I mentioned, one of those points comes from clearing the Nighthold in any difficulty. So yes, LFR does actually work as well, though I don't really recommend going LFR. I mean, it does take more time and you get way less rewards. Now, another thing that becomes available in Phase 2 is the return to Karazhan Mega Dungeon, and it comes in both Heroic and Mythic mode. You'll be able to earn 2 additional knowledge points, 1 for each difficulty. My advice here is to just run it on Mythic, since doing that will also grant you the Heroic achievement, letting you finish it all in a single run. If you're wondering how to get there, well, there is a portal to Karazhan in Dalaran's main chamber. Just go on the lower floor and you should find it. It will take you right outside the Karazhan tower. From there you just fly over the bridge and set the dungeon to Mythic. You can absolutely solo the entire thing if you've got a decent gear and infinite power. Now, if you want an actual number, well, I guess 650, yeah, should just do fine. Keep in mind that it does take a bit of time because, the place is huge. And, well, honestly, I think the hardest part in Karazhan is basically just not getting lost. If you haven't done it before, well, I would suggest finding a group so you can just follow along. And don't forget to pick up the keys from Morose, as you're gonna need that to access the upper floors. And yes, you do need to actually clear both the lower and upper spires to complete the run. You can actually find the Heroic version as well in the LFG tool, but I don't really recommend it. Just run it on Mythic, get it done in one go, and you'll earn 2 more infinite knowledge points for the same amount of time. Now, the final knowledge point comes from completing the Insurrection questline. In Phase 2, we finally get access to this storyline, which is basically the continuation of the Suramar campaign. The quest 1 day at a time should appear at Shalaran, and you can pick it up from Thalisra. If it doesn't show up for you, make sure you have progressed far enough in the main Suramar campaign, or at the very least you have unlocked Thalisra as an NPC. Something to keep in mind here is that at one point you'll need to complete 10 world quests in Suramar, so it's a good idea to save them for when you reach that step. World quests rotate throughout the day, so keep checking back in case new ones pop up. At the end of each chapter, you'll also earn 20 fragmented mementos, some bronze, and a bunch of motes from the caches that you open. So yeah, lots of nice rewards all around. Alrighty, we have covered the new content being added in Phase 2, and now let's talk about the rewards. With Phase 2, the vendors have added a ton of new bronze items that you can get. I bet that most of you have some bronze saved up by now, so why not head over to the Infinite Bazaar and look what's available to buy. Specifically, you'll find new mounts including the lovely Mana Saber and several recolors of the Midnight Mount, all for just 10,000 bronze each. Existing raid and dungeon mounts cost 100k bronze, but if you already have them collected, well, you don't need to buy them again. And a friendly reminder here, if you purchase something you already have in your collection, well, it's possible that you might not get a refund, at least at the time of recording this video. I actually made that mistake myself, bought another Midnight Mount even though I did have it, and well, there went 100k bronze down the drain. In my defense, it was still quite early in the morning and I hadn't even had my coffee yet. Yeah, I even tried submitting a ticket, but no luck. The reply was polite, sure, but didn't really resolve anything. So yeah, once you have spent the bronze, it's pretty much gone in, well, some cases anyway. What I'm trying to say is that you need to be extra careful before buying anything. I mean, it's an easy mistake to make, especially since some vendors are still showing incorrect set info. For example, certain items might appear as collected, even though your set isn't actually complete. So yeah, be careful, double check your collection because some things are non-refundable and they are quite expensive too. Anyway, moving on, aside from mounts, you can also find new pets and toys. Don't forget that bronze can be transferred across your warband, so if you have it spread around, you can send it all over to one toon and buy everything you want from there. Yeah, I know, I'm still working on the bronze farming guide, but let's be honest, there is no secret sauce here. I haven't found any real tricks yet, just play Legion Remix and you're gonna get a ton of bronze. Every time I max out a new character, I end up with around 200,000 bronze, which is not bad at all. So if you are wondering how to farm bronze fast, the answer is quite simple. Make alts, or gear up your main if you don't want to make alts, just pretty much play the game and bronze will come out naturally. So yeah, that's kind of the new things coming from the vendors in phase 2. The transmog vendors don't seem to be selling anything new just yet. It looks like most of the transmogs are coming in phases 3 and 4, so we'll just have to wait to unlock even more cosmetics. And that pretty much wraps up everything happening in phase 2, but that's not the end. Let's have a look at all of those buffs and hotfixes that we got, and let's see what that actually means. Okay, first of all, Infinite Power is actually getting some buffs. To be more specific, you can now earn some fragmented mementos from doing outdoor content. As I explained more thoroughly in my gear guide, mementos actually play a huge role in getting a lot of infinite power and thus stacking a lot of points into that infinite trait. Limits Unbound is your ticket to pushing past that 740 gear ceiling and what allows you to become even more powerful and yeah, in the end be able to solo content. Now, daily activities like war bosses, your first daily rare kills and emissary completions all give mementos. For example, completing an emissary now grants 20 mementos, which is actually really good. Whenever you kill a rare, each day you get around 3 to 5 mementos, which is, I know, not too much, but it's fairly easy to do. I bet it's something that you will anyway do while going through each zone. It's also crucial to mention that war bosses and rare kills also grant more mementos if you are running with the heroic tier enabled, which is all the more reason to keep it on, especially as you gear up and everything becomes easier to kill. Honestly, I think this is a very welcome change. It makes outdoor farming feel way more rewarding and gives players a solid reason to engage with open world content. In addition to these, there were also some changes done to Mythic Plus. Yes, for one more time. Keys now award gear again, though you'll get fewer modes of broken time. When you successfully time a key, you'll receive a piece of gear that actually scales with the key level. Yes, not really the best gearing method in my honest opinion, but perhaps solid for, fresh max level toons. I mean, if you have someone to carry you through keys, that is. What's really important to mention as well is that you can earn a good chunk of fragmented mementos from also Mythic Plus, and that seems to scale with the kill level. I got around 30 mementos from doing a plus 20 key, which only took about 10 minutes to finish. Obviously I wasn't able to solo it, but thank God for this lovely soul that actually helped me. So yes, I do believe that actually Mythic Plus is a solid option for farming infinite power aside from raiding. Higher keys like plus 30 or plus 40 should actually reward even more mementos. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it has been reported that Mythic Plus rewards scale within dungeons completion time. In other words, dungeons that take more time to complete should actually grant you more mementos. And since people are getting quite OP in the remix mode, perhaps that's the best way to farm mementos. For this reason alone, it seems that Archway is actually one of the best dungeons to farm infinite power. I'll have a link to the relevant Wowhead article down below if you are interested in learning more. And obviously I'm talking about Mythic Plus Archway. Now speaking of Mythic Plus, there was also a massive buff for non-tank specs. Yay! Tanks got the short straw, just a small 10% increase to healing received, which honestly doesn't really change much. They're already strong enough to solo most content anyway, without really needing any healers. However, healers and DPS are actually getting some huge buffs. Healers now do 10% more damage, healing, and have 100% more health. To top it off, they take 33% less damage. DPS specs also deal 10% more damage, have 100% more health, and take 33% less damage. Obviously, these buffs apply only in the Mythic Plus environment, but that's exactly where some specs tend to struggle, especially non-tanks. Tanks usually have an easier time, so it's the other roles that really felt the pressure. But these buffs, they are massive, they'll definitely boost survivability across the board, and you know what? That might be enough to make soloing keys viable for everyone, not just tanks. I'm for one really curious to see how it plays out in practice. Hopefully we'll see a lot more specs able to push keys on their own, and yes, some classes will inevitably have an easier time than others, but overall this feels like a big step toward better balance. And that's pretty much all. Let me know what you think of these changes and what are you most excited for Phase 2. Drop your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you so much for sticking around until the very end and drop a like if you have found this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe for more WoW coverage and hit the bell to stay up to date. Good luck with whatever you are doing and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!